the school, each individual school or school board makes the decision. That's
They can, or I don't know how the function works with the State Board of Education and what you're, what if you're allowed to be involved in that.
Yes, ma'am. And well, I think that is the question. But then beyond that, currently though, does a school campus make that decision, or does a school board? That's what I'm trying to find out.
The administrative body of the school board.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Maynard?
Yeah, and again, thank you for coming down. And it was my understanding there's a number of federal and state laws that protect student privacy, and really about the only thing it's my understanding that a school district can release is what we call directory information, and that's only if parents have signed off on that. How does the release of these student records square with those laws?
It's a big problem.
Well, I mean, I don't understand how that can be happening if they're already protected under the law.
Exactly, and that's exactly why I'm here, because it is overlooked. It's overlooked because of the military presence, and for some reason, either because the school board agrees with it, or usually it's because they're not even aware of it. That this happens. So yes, the school, all the privacy laws are in effect, and as you stated, there's in the No Child Left Behind Act, there's a clause that says that all military information, if you receive government funds, that all information, contact information of the student will be given to military recruiters. That's a law. But the option is a parent, and this is required by schools to give this information in the beginning of school forums or whatever. The option is that the parent or student can check to say, I do not want my child to be contacted by the armed services. So you would think that would be the protection. Parents think that that's a protection. However, that does not apply to the ASFAB. It does not apply. So there are many questions now across the country. There have been questions a long time, but finally there's beginning to be some legislative actions, some legal actions taking place. The National Lawyers Guild has written a 33-page memo about it, talking about the illegality of that being given without parents' consent. So, we're not advocating that it not be given. We're just advocating that it be in line with all the privacy laws, and that it's not. In the majority of schools, if you look, and I could send you, if you like, the spreadsheet which shows all the schools in Texas and which schools chose option 1 by default mostly, and whatever option they have chosen. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
All right. Mrs. Knight?
I was looking for David Anderson, Madam Chairman, but it's okay. This is a question I have two questions for staff, Madam Chairman. One, David, the commissioner responded to that letter writing campaign regarding this. Could you remind me what the response was?
This is a decision that's left to the local school districts and charters. The Education Code begins with a presumption that those decisions are made at the local level, so you have to find a grant of authority to a state entity, either the commissioner or the board, and in this instance I just don't see one.
Okay. Now my second question would be for staff. Since there appears to be a communication issue in terms of knowledge out there in the field about these options, when you send out the communications to the superintendents, school boards, etc., could you just send this list of options to them to remind them that they have a choice in the matter?
I'm not sure we give them direction in this. The districts are directly responsible to the Department of Education, U.S. Department of Education.
Now, I'm not talking about directing them to do this. I'm just saying as a reminder that this is a choice that they could make. What I'm thinking is that the administrators get so much mail that they may overlook this. So if we're sending, other communications out to them, that you could include this in there, reminding them that they have a choice that they can follow as it relates to the release of this information. Not directing them, just sharing information with them. Or would they perceive that as a directive from the state if you sent that reminder out?
The fear is, and frankly, districts have sort of formed a habit of suing us when we do this, that you send out something that looks like a directive. I think probably the right place to have that conversation would be with TASB. Because they develop model policies for school districts, and this would be one of the options that a district would have in that kind of policy.
I'm sorry, which organization or which?
The Texas Association of School Boards.
I see, okay.
So if you would follow up with the Texas Association of School Boards, you might could get some assistance. Because it's not within our purview to do this.
Is that what you're saying? Sorry, is that it's not within the school board's? The state board of education doesn't have any responsibility in this.
Yes, Madam Chairman, isn't that correct?
That's, I believe, what I'm hearing from
staff.
staff.
I think neither this board nor the agency or commissioner have that authority to tell a school district what to do in this case. This is something that's left to that locally elected school board.
I understand that, and so what I would request is that you look at this seriously, because we're not going to give up on this issue, and so we'll probably be back to you asking you again. I understand that you're saying that now we have to go to some other organization, but as school board as a state board of education members, I know how concerned you are. I know how committed you are, and this is a very serious issue, and it's not going to go away. It's going to get worse because there's more and more people who don't like the fact that that the schools are allowing this information to be given to the military when the parents don't know anything about it. So the letters will keep coming to you, and then we will contact the Association of.
Okay, Ms. Wood, or Mrs. Knight, did you want to follow up?
Madam Chairman, would you please again, or have
Ms. Wood, I think,
explain that, again, it's not, even if they came back to us, we still do not have authority to handle the issue.
I suspect the circumstance here is what existed in Maryland, and just as you needed a statute in that state to reach a particular outcome, I think in Texas that conversation would have to be with legislators who could pass such a statute.
We want to make sure your efforts are focused on the right authority, I think is what I'm hearing. Ms. Bahorich, did you still have a question?
No, because I read further in the document and I got an answer to my question.
Any other questions?